Well, I've played classical piano all my life. One of my favorite composers of all time is JS Bach, known as the father of music. And in his music, what I especially connected with was his love of Christ. Every note that he wrote, he said it's to God's glory. He signed it SDG, Soli Deo Glory, to God alone the glory. And I wanted to talk about his faith. And I wanted to record music in a prayerful state, transmit the intent of this music, which was praise music. And so as I was working on the recording, I just felt that the Spirit was prompting me to look for information and clues. And one of the areas that I was prompted to research was the tunings of JS Bach, because he tuned and revolutionized the tuning system in his lifetime. And he was born in 1680 and he lived until 1750. And that's when I came upon the sacred tones. Well, during that period of time, I happened to be going through a health crisis myself, and I really needed a miracle. And I heard about the 528 hertz from my research, the miracle transformation frequency. And when I read it's known to heal broken DNA, I was like, skeptical, for sure skeptical, yeah, right. But being around sound all my life and having a particular sensitivity to quality of sound all my life, I wrote a book about how to play piano with beautiful tone. It's been a sort of obsession of mine. I thought, let me dive into this a little bit further. Took the 528 frequency and I made my own sound recording of it, and I overlaid it with my own voice speaking scriptures of healing. I listened to this recording that I made while I slept. The next morning I felt different. I definitely felt different. And I knew something had shifted. I think I listened only two or three more times. And then when I went back to the doctor, they found that there was nothing wrong at all. And they were shocked, because they saw something on an x-ray and then they saw there was nothing on that x-ray anymore. And anytime I mentioned this to friends or family, they were usually very skeptical. But for the ones that tried it, they experienced incredible results. I have a testimonial about breast cancer disappearing. So there is incredible power. Look, we don't know the ways of God. We don't know. But we do know that God is revealing things now, opening up technologies that were known in the past that have been forgotten. Can you imagine that in the tabernacle of David, when they intoned sacred sounds with the purity of their praise, there was a hedge of protection over the tabernacle. They played the music. It was very specific. David was so specific about the musicians, the type of songs that they would sing, the types of instruments, the tunings of the instruments. It was very ordered. And that is a key, because I think that these days we take music very lightly in worship. What David understood was that he got his direction from God. This is what pleases me, David. This is how I want you to worship me. And I think this kind of worship is now coming back into our consciousness. And so there was no strife, there was no illness, there was no war. It was like a canopy of incredible joy, health, protection, as long as the music played. And that's why David instructed the musicians in 4-hour shifts, play, play, play. So I was amazed by my experience with these tones. And so I shared it with some people, and then I kind of went back to doing my regular projects, which is playing classical piano. I was quite happy with that, and I just recently, again, through a dream, God was saying, you have to now release this. And I know that it is for a reason and for a time like this. And my greatest prayer is that it blesses you and that it gives you strength. That no matter what you're going through, it might be a health crisis where you think that there's no hope. The doctors might be saying, there's no hope for you. But guess what? God says, by my stripes you are healed. Okay, it's been already done on the cross. Do we have the faith to receive it? Faith comes from hearing, and hearing the word of God. When you play heaven melody, you are going to be receiving the word of God with the overlay of these sacred sounds. So you're going to be feeding yourself the word of God, and your faith will grow and grow and grow.